made this hopefully easy to follow tutorial on how to protect your privacy online that you can follow without needing any prior knowledge of how cybersecurity works. There are many degrees of action people are willing to take in order to protect privacy of their lives on the internet. So this tutorial starts with getting the most amount of privacy possible without sacrificing any convenience, and gradually shifts this balance towards threat models where convenience can't be an issue. This video will start from minimal privacy protection and continue all the way to the maximum privacy you can get without cutting the cord. If at any point during the video you feel like this is too much for you, feel free to leave it there and keep your privacy protection at a level that suits you best. Also, you could do me a favor if you commented your level of privacy protection you decided to go with. The first thing we are going to do is to change our web browser. Right now, you are most likely on Google Chrome or maybe even your system's default browser. A digital space where you reveal the most about yourself are your browsing habits. Your browsing history is unique and speaks a lot about what you think and how you think. Trackers can know not just what websites you visit, but also for how long and for what purpose. This metadata reveals so much about you, advertisers and government spies don't even need to know the content of those sites.
We kill people based on metadata.
The single best thing you can do right now is to install Firefox from Mozilla. Firefox is a free and open source software, which is essential for all the privacy software. You see, when companies hide what their products are made of, their proprietary code most likely serves as a backdoor for government spies and advertisers. This is true for all tech giants as we know thanks to Snowden's leaks. In November 2017, Firefox went through a major performance and speed update and is now twice as fast as Google Chrome. So you can safely switch to Firefox without sacrificing your web browsing experience at all. After you installed Firefox, go to the Preferences and under Privacy and Security, set the tracking protection to be always on. While you're there, tick the box for Do Not Track. Also, you can block third-party cookies. By turning these features on, you don't risk breaking any websites. Firefox will block most commonly known analytics, social media, and advertising trackers. Side benefit of this is that websites will render twice as fast, you'll consume much less bandwidth, and your device will work faster, draining less battery. If you want to block even more ads and trackers, we are going to install uBlock Origin. This is the most efficient blocker of malware, trackers, spyware, and all the annoying ads out there. Go to the Add-ons tab and click Get Add-ons and search for uBlock Origin. This is a very powerful add-on and it can be used to do a lot of things, but for now, you are just good to install it and enjoy the web much faster and safer. uBlock Origin blocks ads and trackers much better than AdBlock Plus, and if you choose to support a content creator you like, it's super easy to temporarily turn off blocking on their website. There are some behind-the-scenes tracking mechanisms that you should also take care of. Luckily, this is also trivially easy. All you need is to just install HTTPS Everywhere and Decentralize. Both of these extensions require zero attention once you install them. HTTPS Everywhere will force websites to use encrypted versions and not leak your private information by clandestinely loading unencrypted content. Decentralize is excellent at working behind the scenes. It stops many requests to popular content delivery networks like Google-hosted libraries, which can read your data as it passes through their network. The next biggest vector of information flow that reveals a lot about you are your search queries. If you like to search a lot, you are giving your search engine a lot of information about your mind. Your search habits, just like your browsing history, are uniquely identifiable. No two people search for the exact same queries given the amount of metadata Google can collect from you while you use it. You should change your default search engine into either DuckDuckGo or Quant.com. If you still want to receive Google results but more privately, you can try out startpage.com or Srux.me. It's good to have more than one search engine in your list, just for the sake of being exposed to more than just one algorithm of information flow. For a more in-depth overview of privacy-focused search engine, check out my video on that topic. Now that we have made corporate surveillance much less profitable for the advertisers, what else is there? When we blocked most common trackers, the next thing advertisers are going to resort to are our online identities. You know, all your accounts on Reddit, Facebook, email, and even YouTube. This is because right now you are most likely in a very bad habit. You have this one browser where you sign into your online accounts, maybe even all of them at once, and you surf the internet as if nobody was watching. But many of those accounts are watching even after you log out. It's possible to completely kill this kind of tracking fairly easily as well. In order for this to work, you are going to have to say goodbye to your browsing history and start using private mode permanently. For convenience, go to Preferences and in Privacy and Security, set your Firefox to never remember history. This way, each time you launch Firefox, it will automatically start in a private mode. This is all it takes to prevent websites from reading back your browsing history. If you want to remember your browsing tabs for later reference, learn to use and organize bookmarks. It's easy to remember an entire session when you right-click on any tab and choose Bookmark All Tabs. When you close a browsing tab, website you just left planted a cookie on your device to continue tracking in real time. To stop this, all you need is to install Cookie Auto Delete on your Firefox. When you delete everything like this, it means you are going to have to type in your passwords all the time. But that's good. You shouldn't save your passwords on the browser because they are stored unencrypted and hackers could steal them easily. Begin to familiarize yourself with good password managers, but don't just trust any of them. Good options are KeePass2, LastPass, and MasterPassword app. The only way websites can still track you now is when you are logged in and browse the web simultaneously on the same browsing session. Even in private mode, Facebook still collects information about each website you visit while logged in. The benefit of using private mode is when you log out and close your browser, Firefox will delete all trackers Facebook secretively planted on your device. The only problem now is that if you want to prevent Facebook from tracking your browsing habits in real time, but you really want to be logged in simultaneously as you browse the web. Is it possible to do it without being tracked? Absolutely, through a process known as compartmentalization. This is a process where you are going to have two privacy-configured web browsers and use them for separate online activities. In practice, you will use one browser for your online accounts only and another browser for surfing the internet. Now we can go back to Google Chrome.
Can we ask you some questions? It's for our podcast.
Just kidding, don't go back to Google Chrome, it's evil. Install Brave instead. Brave is automatically configured to block ads and trackers. It's not as good as privacy-configured Firefox, and it's not as powerful, but it's still perfectly viable for compartmentalization. So once you install Brave, before you start using it, make sure you harden it for privacy even more. Make it block all ads, phishing, malware, and turn on fingerprinting protection. Go to the Security tab and under Private Data, set Brave to delete everything each time you close it. So now that you have two browsers, Brave and Firefox, you should choose which browser you'll always use only for your internet accounts and the other one for general browsing. At this point, I'll let you choose which browser you want for your online accounts and which one for the other stuff. Remember to never break this separation rule. Let's pause for a minute to look back at what we just did. Websites can't track us through their trackers because we blocked most of them, they can't collect our browsing history because we are always deleting everything, they can't figure out search history because we use private search engines, and they can't spy on us through our online identities because we use compartmentalization. What's the next biggest way we can be spied on? Our IP address. There are two channels of surveillance. Websites can use our IP to identify us, although not as reliably as installing remote trackers on our devices. And our ISP has full access to our browsing history, which advertisers and governments can buy. We can kill both of these adversaries with one shot. For the first step, we are going to hide our IP address and browsing history completely. The best way to achieve this is through Tor browser. Tor offers you privacy by anonymity. This means that your internet traffic is going to be public, that's just how the internet works, there is no way around it. But think of Tor as putting an anonymous mask from V for Vendetta on your face, and imagine you are part of a huge crowd of people wearing that mask as well. Observers can see what you're doing, but they can never tell your identities apart. So once you go home and put off your mask, nobody is going to be able to link what you did while wearing that mask to your real name. Each time you want to access a website, Tor will reroute your traffic through 3 random encrypted hops called relays. None of these relays can see the full network, so it's impossible to track the original destination of your request at all points on the Tor network. Because of this hopping, your traffic will be slower, so don't be surprised by this. To achieve the highest level of privacy possible, it is recommended to use Tor all the time. But there might be 2 downsides for you. 1. Sometimes Tor network might be too slow for you and you maybe really need that speed. 2nd, Tor can't do magic, and just as I mentioned earlier, if you connect to Facebook through Tor and browse the web on other tabs, Facebook can still collect your browsing history from Tor. So like with Firefox, you'd have to log out of Facebook, close Tor, and start a new session before continuing to your other online activities. To solve both of these downsides, you can make Tor a part of your compartmentalization strategy. You can use Tor for all light browsing where you don't need your full broadband speed. It's very useful to browse for goods you want to buy on Tor, and when you actually decide to buy a product online, you can go back to regular Firefox and make a direct purchase without giving your vendor your search history. Compartmentalization with Tor can look something like this. Dedicate Firefox to all high-speed stuff you need, like watching videos, have Brave for your accounts, and Tor for general browsing. Now there will be very limited amount of data leaking to the spies. You can make it even more difficult for them to make sense of your data by randomizing your data footprint. To do it, just go to the website Make Internet Noise and just hit Make Noise. It will randomly browse the web and it will fill your history with so much mess it's not going to be possible to make sense of it. As you advance your privacy protection skills, you should consider learning about script blocking. It's nothing too difficult, it just requires more attention from you as blocking scripts breaks most websites. The easiest way to block scripts is through Brave Shield. Here you'll start to learn what it looks like when you block them and reallow them for certain websites. The best way to gain full control is to start using extensions like Umetrix and NoScript. NoScript is used by Tor, and the best way to learn it is to just test out different things it can do. For example, you can whitelist some websites you trust or allow certain scripts to always load while block others. The same can be done with Umetrix and uBlock Origin. To block scripts on uBlock Origin, you need to enable the advanced user mode and set uBlock Origin to block all third-party scripts. Umetrix essentially does the same, but with more granular control. I have a tutorial on how to use Umetrix that you should check out to learn more about script blocking through this add-on. Now that you have eliminated virtually all online tracking, it's about time you start minimizing your data footprint by switching to services that respect your privacy. You should start thinking about what software you install on your device and who you want to trust with your data. For your email provider, switch to encrypted services that never sell your data to advertisers or governments. These include free services like protonmail.com, tutanota.com or disroot.org, or a paid service like postio.de. For instant messaging, anything from big giants like Facebook or Apple can't be trusted. Best mobile instant messaging app is Signal, which is similar to WhatsApp, but Signal is completely open source, has uncompromising end-to-end encryption, and doesn't leak your metadata to advertisers. Good instant messenger on desktop is CryptoCat, which has very essential conventional functionality and is very secure. On top of exchanging messages, you can securely share files and audio/video recordings. Start building a relationship with free and open source software.
Free, join us now and share the software. You'll be free, hackers, you'll be free.
Everything mainstream has a privacy-respecting open source alternative. For all office work, consider LibreOffice. It's incredibly popular, it's what I use to write essays and do presentations for my college, and unless you are a heavy office worker, it really is enough. Linux is really great as an operating system right now. You can install Linux alongside your current operating system on the same hard drive. I recommend you start with something popular like Linux Mint or Ubuntu. The more you fall in love, the more you can test out and grow. It's really a whole new world of ideas and possibilities that you can't understand unless you try it. Would you believe that this whole video was produced and edited on Linux? To learn more about privacy protection, you can read more on privacytools.io and join the community on subreddits rprivacy and rprivacytools.io. And while you're there, go to the About Config tab on your Firefox and hardcode some privacy configuration from the Privacy Tools IO guide. If you have any questions about protecting your online privacy, leave them in the comment section down below. Please engage in liking, sharing and commenting on this video so that YouTube will promote it to more people who are seeking ways to protect their online privacy. Also, subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching.